to QI. Tonight, we're all going to be pretty infantile. Playing mummies and daddies tonight are Daddy Cool, Dave Gorman. Yummy Mummy, Ronnie Ancona. Happy Pappy, Lee Mack. And the curse of the mummy's tomb, Alan Davies. So, why don't you give me a ring sometime? Dave goes... Ronnie goes... Lee goes... And Alan goes...
For sales inquiries, press 1. For customer service, press 2. For 2 hours of irritating music, press 3. For more options, press 4. For fewer options, press 5. To speak to one of our operatives, emigrate to Mumbai.
Thank you, Alan. And don't forget your nobody knows joker.
Nobody knows.
Yes, there may be a question tonight to which the true answer is that nobody knows. And if you can play your nobody knows joker, you get extra points. Your ignorance might indeed be bliss. So here's an intimate question to start with. What did the Pope's father say to the baker's daughter? Who is the current Pope?
Is German, is he?
Ratzinger.
Ratzinger. Joseph
Yes.
Ratzinger was born in Germany, as we know. He's a German Pope. And there he is. That's him on the right with those killer eyes that he still has.
Some would say the far right.
Yes, some would say. And his father, too, was called Joseph. So Joseph Ratzinger Sr. married a baker's daughter. That's the mother in the middle. The question is, how did they meet?
On the interweb.
Yes. It was the equivalent...
Speed dating. They were speed dating.
Before the interweb and speed dating, there were...
Singles adverts.
Singles ads.
Would like to meet, good sense of humour.
Absolutely.
And all that.
This is what the Pope's father, Joseph Ratzinger, who was a Bavarian policeman, wrote. He wrote, middle-ranking civil servant, single, Catholic, that's a relief, 43, immaculate past, from the country, is looking for a good Catholic pure girl who can cook well, tackle all household chores, with a talent for sewing and homemaking, with a view to marriage as soon as possible. He added, fortune desirable but not a precondition. He was 43, she was 36. She was called Maria Peintner. They met up at a coffee house and were married 4 months later.
Life was simple then, wasn't it?
Life was simple then.
That was not so much a singles advert, more a job.
Yes.
It would be great if the Pope actually had an entry himself in the Lonely Hearts column, because then it would be something like, single guy, likes to wear a dress, drives a slow forklift truck, expects you to kiss his ring. EYTKHR. That would be, wouldn't it? EYT. That's because they've got abbreviations. Haven't they got abbreviations
And I
like
have a
three-letter
list of abbreviations to test you on, to see how much you use these singles and wanted ads and Craigslist and similar. So D/D, what would that be?
A divorced deviant?
Nice idea.
Large. Does it stand for large breasts?
Maybe perhaps quite... Oh, I see double D. Oh, yes.
You've got all nice, Stephen.
I got you. Not quite my area of expertise, but I do understand that.
Drunk and disorderly.
Yeah.
No, it actually means drug and disease free.
Is it?
Yes. In the code of these things, yeah.
If you feel it necessary to put that, that's just going to raise suspicions.
NK.
No
Massive
knickers.
knockers. Sorry, them.
Massive knockers.
NK.
Yeah, there is no kids. The WE?
Weekends.
That would be nice, but I'm afraid it's a little bit more physical than that.
Well endowed.
Yes!
Just put that, wouldn't you? Just put well endowed and the box number.
Possibly ALAWP might be the thing to do with WE.
A large
All
and wavy
letters
penis.
answered.
All letters answers.
All letters answered. ALAWP. All letters answered with.
A penis.
Photo.
Photo.
Sorry, photo.
Dave is earning points. Absolutely.
You know
You know a lot about this stuff.
He does,
about
he has.
Colin.
IPT. So you might get, for instance, IPT BBW.
Big-breasted woman.
Oh, so you know BBW. Very good. Very good. Is partial to.
Right. Yes.
IPT BBW is partial to.
I don't know if this is going to help me or not, but some of these acronyms are shared by the world of pornography. So you can take your pick as to how I know them. It's either
Yes.
from Lonely Hearts or from porn.
That's right, yeah.
Which would you rather we
I'm going to
assume your
leave you
knowledge
guessing,
comes
Ronnie. I'm
from?
going to leave you guessing.
So what would be the WESHM WLTM BBW for NSA fun?
Does that stand for...
No strings attached fun. At the
Very
end.
good, Dave. NSA
Like
is...
to meet a big-breasted woman.
Yes, so WE...
A well-endowed.
Well endowed.
SHM. H is an ethnic type in America in particular.
Hispanic.
Hispanic. Yeah.
Brilliant. So it's well-endowed, single Hispanic male. WLTM,
Would like to
Like
meet.
to meet.
Like to meet.
BBW,
Big-breasted woman.
Big blue
for
whale.
NSA fun.
For no strings attached fun.
Exactly. A big
Which is when
pot.
you're into puppetry, but
Yeah.
of the glove puppet variety, not...
Exactly. That's a sweet way of
Yes,
looking at it.
absolutely.
Presumably we're charged by the letter in newspapers, so that's why these...
To save money.
It's to save money, but you don't need that on the internet, do you? You could say, I have an enormous dong. You don't have to go WE, do you?
But tiny testicles.
BTT.
BT.
In fact, it's actually an average-sized dong, but the testicles make it look enormous. It's just a
TTs,
trick of the light.
It's
they're
only,
like ball bearings. They rattle.
it's only the top of the show. Let's try and
just trying to
swim
liven
to
up
the
the-
surface
Glad
before,
we've set the
before
tone.
we hit the depths. Yeah.
Man gasping for air seeks BBW.
Well, there used to be in San Francisco in the late 70s, there was a handkerchief code in the gay
Oh, yeah, I've
community.
heard about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
The yellow one.
this
it was
when-
also a which back pocket.
Oh,
it
what
was
is
in.
that?
If it was left, it was passive. If it was right, it was active.
What did it mean if you
So if
tied
it was
four
you had a
knots and
yellow-
put it on your head?
That meant you were a homosexual from up north.
Yeah.
That's right, you're a Blackpool from the Golden Mile. But no, if you had yellow in your back left pocket, it meant you like being peed on.
And what does it mean if you wear a yellow thing round your neck, hanging down?
I like the idea of someone going to a club and he's got the yellow hanky and everyone else thinks, ugh, weirdo.
I like the idea of a group of Morris dancers going on a trip to San Francisco, sending off very mixed signals wherever they go.
So we used to, honestly, in the 70s, there used to be cards. You'd go into a shop in Castro, in the district in San Francisco, and there would be these little laminated cards telling you the code so you didn't make a mistake.
They'd have to be laminated.
No, all right. I don't know how this conversation's gone in this direction. But anyway, the Pope's parents met through a Lonely Hearts ad. What did the Viceroy of India's daughter like doing with Flibbity Flop and Jumpkins?
Is this
If they're not rabbits,
Yes.
then something's amiss.
They do sound like rabbits, don't
Yeah.
they? Flibbity Flop and Jumpkins.
Are they
who's-
body parts?
They're not body parts.
And sorry, who are we
That's how
talking
you
about?
tell us
She was the daughter of one of the viceroys of India. In the days of the Raj, a man would be appointed viceroy, i.e. vice-king of India. The last one was Lord Mountbatten before, so, you know, the independence of India. And this man was called Lord Lytton, and his daughter Emily was quite an extraordinary Victorian figure. And she eventually ended up marrying Lutyens, the architect. He designed most of New Delhi. The huge pink palaces and things of New Delhi were Lutyens, and that's him there as an older man. And that's Emily ex Lytton. Anyway, I've
He
actually...
looks like she's just told him
I
a
have-
really dirty joke.
This Flippity Flop and Jumpkins, she had an evening playing Flippity Flop and Jumpkins, and I'm going to ask Ronnie to read out how she described her evening of Flippity Flop and Jumpkins.
I assure you, no words can picture either the intense excitement or the noise. I almost scream in describing it.
She could be in the room. There you are. This was a description of when she was 17 years old. She played this game, which was alternately known as Flippity Flop or Jumpkins, but has a much better name.
Tiddlywinks.
Yes!
Weird.
You both said it at the same time. Absolutely brilliant. And I will give you each a little cup. It was originally called Tiddledywinks. For some reason, the second dip got dropped, so we call it Tiddlywinks. Just try hitting it into the target there, you see.
So we have to try and get it in the hole?
Yeah, you have the big one, and you have the little one is called a wink.
Is this called the squidger?
I think I went too hard.
It's...
Surely if that's called the wink, this must be called the tiddly.
You'd think so.
Your eyes.
But I do give a point to you for knowing it's called a squidger.
Off the lip.
It's meant to be, it's yellow and green versus red and blue. And they do have lots of different, there's a squap.
Yes.
And a boondock. And my favourite move, there is a move, an official sort of the language of Tiddlywinks is they have a thing called the good move.
Right.
And the good move is not called that because it's a good move, it's named after John Good.
Oh, how wonderful.
And so it's named for him.
But the squap, you're right, is one of the most basic things. And what is a squap?
A squap is where you're trying to tiddle your wink so that it lands on top of somebody else's wink.
Exactly. And
Yes.
if your wink...
I can see why you're using those Lonely Hearts columns now. How'd you get the lift?
No, you get the lift, actually, to be honest, we're not giving you felt. Oh, darling. You have to play on felt or baize, and then it works beautifully.
Because then you've got some purchase.
On a card table, yeah.
This is my ideal gig, where I come on QI, but I don't have to talk, I just have to play Tiddlywinks.
It's great. Oh,
Shit! You can't get the lift!
I had a brilliant lift there. You've ruined
Talking of
you said one.
the good move, which is named after Jonathan Good.
Yeah.
Do you know what a page ranking is? This is sort of similar. You know, in Google terms, they have a page ranking.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
And do you know why it's called a page ranking?
Yes!
No. So,
I'm going to point out...
I honestly thought you knew the answer to Dave's question.
no.
Finally, I've got one! I know why!
So, are you telling me that actually a page ranking is not because it's a web page, but it's something called
it's named
page?
after Larry Page,
Oh,
one
it
of the
is?
founders of
Of
Google.
course.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to hand out some more toys, so there's even more fun to be had.
Quoits.
I ought to tell you, the winner gets the teddy bear. Well, the fluffy toy, shall I
Got
say.
to be joking. Oh, you've really raised the stakes
You will
now.
get the fluffy toy. We'll start with Dave.
OK.
OK. Good luck. Oh! Oh!
Something in
Ronnie,
the
come on,
third
for
round.
the pride of it.
Come on,
Just got a bit of dirt in my pocket.
let's have a read.
Attention! Oh!
Did you see that?
I saw it. I was there.
I saw it.
I was there.
Oh, if he'll be unbearable.
It's all right, he's already unbearable.
I was...
And he'll get the bear.
By the way, I was only joking before. I've got my own dirty mags in the dressing room.
Don't let him
Watch
get
out for the
it.
bloke.
Don't let him get it.
And you get the fluffy toy. And here it is.
Oh, it's like the fairground.
Yeah.
It's like the
I never said you'd be that.
Oh, it's like the...
I never said. No,
Anything off the bottom, anything off the bottom.
Yes. If Lee was a nice man, he'd give that to you, Ronnie. But
That's true. I would.
congratulations, Lee.
Thank you very much.
Bullseye 25. So, OK, why did they ban rifle ranges inside pubs in Birmingham? Yes.
Was it common sense?
You think so, but no, that wasn't the reason.
Price of ammunition.
No. We're talking about the early 20th century, when it suddenly became very important to have soldiers who were good at firing rifles. Why was that?
Because of the war.
The Boer War,
Right.
exactly. And so they started having rifle ranges in pubs.
Adds a new dimension to getting around in, doesn't it?
It does. And Birmingham was the very centre of the world's gun-making, you know, BSA and other such rifle companies. And so all these pubs would have rifle ranges inside the pubs, sometimes literally inside. You'd fire over the heads of customers at targets. But they banned it. And I want to know the reason why they banned it.
Not just because there's an accidental